don't have to worry about this. And then all of a sudden I have like 2 videos to edit in like a week and a half. It's like, come on. All right. That's not going to work for me. I have to go back to the
Yeah,
like more
dude.
strict, more consistent thing. And I'm not even mad at myself because like I just started this channel. So
Yeah.
like I got to figure these things out.
Yeah, test it out.
Yeah,
Exactly.
man. Staying positive is like super important with everything. Plus, I'm pretty stoked on those environments I did. They may not be like perfect, but I've seen my own progress from like just from college even. Like my environments were trash. These are looking decent.
Oh, yeah?
You know, yeah,
I haven't
pretty
seen
happy
them.
with that. Oh yeah. Do you want me to send it to you real quick on Facebook? Just a
Uh,
message
you can do on Discord.
or later. Okay.
Message
Yeah,
me on
yeah.
Discord. I'll take a look
You're
at it
already
right
on
now.
there anyway.
We're on streaming, y'all.
Cool. Which chat do you want me to take a look at? I can do that for you.
Uh, Whatever one. I guess all of them. I know YouTube is usually pretty popular. So
All right,
hello
just give me a
everybody.
little bit to open them up.
Hello everybody who might be watching in this. I'm really tired. I've been getting very limited amount of sleep. Not too bad. It was really bad with my first kids because I was a little bit more inexperienced. I think my wife is dealing more with it than I am because she has to like um, pump every like 2 hours, so it doesn't really matter. Like she has to do it, which sucks for her. But she's a dope mama. She's a good mama, so she keeps with it. I know, little do. It's okay. It's okay. You leave him here. It's fine. He'll eventually calm down. Yeah. I think it's just hot in here. That's why I think he's just uncomfortable. Oh, I'm sweating, sweetie. I think you're. That was hours ago. No, sweetie, it's hot. I opened up the window a lot because it was so hot in here. Anyway, um, did you send me to Discord? Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm opening the chats right now. Just got to
Let's
get
take a
Facebook.
look
I
at
mean,
it.
Twitch.
Ooh, these are cool. I like the bottom one.
Thank you.
Oh, it's alright, little dude. He looks like Snoop Dogg with his little beanie. Um,
All right, I got the chats open.
cool.
Brandon says, yo. Juan says, hi from CT. MA3D Art says, are you in zombie mode? The
Yeah,
Grubber says, hello.
sorta.
What's up, peeps?
What's up, everybody? So I'm going to paint this and then I'm gonna call it a night. So this is just my. I'm just trying to stream more often and just get myself to practice this pixel art jam as well. Like I'm trying a bunch of different techniques and I think I got one. And it wraps around this idea of just. Oh, you know what? I should be timing myself. All right, I'll just count that as a minute, and then let's do that.
Do you want to take a couple passive questions?
Yeah, if there's any
All
questions,
right.
I'm more than happy to take them.
All right, we got one so far. This guy, Lucky Bob on YouTube,
What's up, Lucky Bob?
says,
How you doing?
I want to start painting digitally. No art background. Where do I start?
I would say just get yourself like a cheap tablet. See if you're into it. And then there's like a lot of software out there. So just pick any one that looks interesting. If you're willing to spend $10 a month, I believe it is, you can get Photoshop. And Photoshop's pretty
Yeah,
much
10 bucks.
it's industry standard. But there's like a lot of free software out there that's actually pretty, you know, effective. And there's some software that has a flat rate that are also equally as effective. I think Photoshop is just mad epic because of their algorithms. I think they got just nailed their algorithms, and they just can manipulate such large images, and they have so many tools at their disposal. So, for instance, like I was thinking, oh, I'm gonna just probably use this other tool for pixel art animation, and I actually still might because it's still pretty powerful, and it's free, so it doesn't hurt to use it, right? But then I was like, no, I could probably do everything in Photoshop. And then I tried it, and I was like, yeah, I can do everything in Photoshop. I can do pixel art just strictly in Photoshop if I like. And I found a really cool process where it allows me the freedom of not thinking about pixel art while I'm doing it, which is like just paint the way that I normally paint, and then just with a few things in mind, which is to keep it um, really graphic, you know, very large shapes, um, very colorful, a very clear distinction between light and shadow, this types of stuff. And then I've set up my Photoshop so that way when I lower the resolution and all that good stuff, I can get that pixel art looking effect. And it's kind of effective. It's really effective. And I discovered that if I just animate as well, you know, in that in like a high res and then down res the animation, it works really well as well. As well, and then take it to that Piscal software, and then do touch ups and cleanups there. And so, there's all kinds of tools. Is what I'm trying to get at, right? And so you just got to pick your poison and then just get cracking. And if you want to get serious, there's more expensive tablets, out there. If you want to get a piece of tech that, if you decide to quit or you don't want to do that anymore, the iPad Pro is good because the iPad Pro can just turn into just a regular tablet for you, right? But you can use it with like Procreate and do commercial artwork easily, um, and it's more traditional feeling. And I honestly think that's the future. So getting used to something like that will be actually beneficial. I think computers will be smaller and more compact, like work computer for artists, even for like developers. I realize like in terms of coding, I can just use my laptop. I don't need anything powerful. Code is really cheap, you know. In
Yeah.
terms of processing, if I'm messing with 3D and stuff, then it starts becoming more expensive. But even that's getting cheaper, you know. And so there's all these alternatives is what I'm trying to get at, and I'm not really worried about it as much as I was. Um, and so like this, it's kind of weird, right? Like so, it's like this machine that I got that I've spent a lot of money on, um, is super powerful, and normally, you know, uh, I would have to upgrade. Like I was like thinking like, oh man, I have to upgrade. It's going to cost me a lot of money. I need to start saving up. Um, but that's only if I want to stick to like 3D, right? And I was just like, I don't know if I want to do that. This just seems so much. And so I decided to reconsider. And then um, the fact that I've switched to kind of a more of like lo-fi, low fidelity art style, right? Which I've always loved, anyways. I just never had an opportunity to really kind of feel like
Explore.
conceptually. Yeah, conceptually, I'm all about like just painting really challenging things. But see, now the challenge in development is the design of the game and coding, right? So I'm getting that challenge in a different way. So I'm satisfying that thirst.
Well, and you're still painting,
Yeah, and I'm still
you know.
doing art the way that I like, right? And so then
Hmm.
my point is that like it seems like it's also going backwards. Like tech is going web, meaning a lot of things are going to be processed via the internet. You know, there's a company that's making games that are streamed on your phone, and you just it's like Netflix but with games. And there's like companies already exist like GameFly that do stuff like this. But apparently these guys have figured it out, right? Like they made it like so it's super seamless, and that's only going to get better. That tech, you know. And then people were gonna look back and say like, "What you guys used to like download your games?" Just like when people used to have cartridge and then they went to CD and it was like, "Oh, you still use cartridge? It's all about CD, yo." And then it went to like Blu-ray and it was like, "What? You use something other than you use HD? What's wrong with you? Blu-ray, bro." And then went digital downloads, right? And then now it's going to go to like streaming. Like, what? You download your games? It's all about streaming. Like even today, I was like streaming. There's a new feature in Steam where you can like stream. If you download it on one other computer, you can stream it on a different one if they're sharing the same Wi-Fi, which was like threw me off guard. I was like, "What? This is crazy!" But it was really choppy and gross, so I didn't use it. But that tech will get better, right? And so like whatever you choose is what I'm getting at. Like just choose and stick with it because irregardless, technology will change. And if you use like the tablet, like I was suggesting, I don't mean like a Wacom tablet. I mean like an actual like iPad or something, right? Or like a Surface or something. I think you're going to be the on the front end of specifically 2D. I think even 3D is going to take a bit longer. I think it's going to take maybe like another decade for 3D, like high end 3D applications to be rendered and made on something like your smartphone. You know, I think it's going to take another like 5 to 10 years. Check my prediction in 2027. But yeah, long-winded answer for a simple question.
I'm sure you
Basically,
got an earful, and
yeah,
that's something a lot of people probably want to know. So
yeah,
it's a good answer. Um, Real quick on the idea of uh, where the direction of technology is going and whatnot. I've actually been rethinking the purpose of a laptop lately. Because a while back I went out and I got this like really nice MSI laptop with a 1060 in it. It was like thin,
dang,
so it's like it's a powerhouse, right? And it's got a 120 hertz monitor for like gaming, but that's less important. I just wanted like good specs, right?
uh-huh,
And the more I've like had experience with this laptop, the more I've fixated on how crap the battery life is. Like
yeah,
when you unplug that thing, it lasts like what, an hour, maybe 2 hours. And I'm like, at this point, it's just like a portable desktop. It's not really a laptop anymore. So I've started to reconsider and like really start to appreciate like those ultrabook computers
I hear
where they
you.
have like 10-hour, 8-hour battery lives
They're
and just enough power.
actually portable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
smart. I
if you're
agree.
just painting, you can do it on that. Like you can paint in Photoshop with like, a dual core computer without a graphics card.
Yeah, I think
You
it
know.
still will run out of batteries fast. It's
Well,
like
I've seen it rated like 4 hours, like in Photoshop.
okay,
A computer like
that's
that.
still
So
that's
I'm like, that's
still
still better.
that's still pretty sucky. But you're right.
Yeah,
You're right. You're right
going
though.
up
You're
right
not
now.
wrong. I think you're right though. I'm not trying to say
No, I
that.
see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually agree with you that I think like that is where everyone's trying to go right now. Obviously, it's like better life, but now people are generally are trying to make these portable tools that are genuinely portable. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because like my phone is so useful, man. I can watch YouTube videos pretty much almost all day, and it's like just running still. You know, and then I just got like a portable charger that's really nice, and it just makes it even easier, right? And
Yeah.
so like I was looking into like portable laptop power supplies, but like there's none that I can see on the market that would supply my machine. It's just too big. And so like going to your argument is like, but if I had like an ultrabook, I could do it. You
Oh
know,
yeah, you could
then I
power
could
that thing
solve
for
that.
days.
Yeah, then I can solve that problem with an external charger. And so, um, yeah, I agree. I think, and especially like I said, like for coding, I would get the benefit of like the whatever the battery life because I'm just staying in a text editor, you know,
Oh,
and it'd be really nice and slick. But I already have a laptop, so if I invest in another laptop, it'd be kind of um, it would have to be to the point where my laptop is truly obsolete, and then I'll upgrade. But I'm
yeah, I see
wiser
what you're
now,
saying.
and I would probably do what you're doing or suggesting. But at that time too, the technology might catch up. So I'm just gonna wait it out, and I think you should too. Just be patient and just deal with the
Yeah.
super long battery life. It's fine. You know what I do? I carry an extra external or an extension cord. Like
Oh, I
I
see.
have like a
So
little
you
coiled
can like
one.
get to it with
Yeah,
a.
so because sometimes power is it's not so much the power strip is a problem. It's where like so it's not long enough sometimes, or it's not convenient because it's like super far away. So you have to sit next to like
Mhm.
a air conditioner or something like that. You know. Um, but like with an extension cord, then you have more um, options, and it's much more portable to carry around. So yeah, I hear
Yeah.
you. I hear you.
All right, let's take another question. Let's get this. Let's see. All right. So on YouTube, Black Wolf says, I'm in a position where I have to produce quickly. I'm worried about improving since I have to simply produce rather than practice. Advice on the situation on how to keep improving while working fast.
You just gotta still sketch and stuff for yourself. Do it on the side or something, or at your home. Yeah, don't if your your job or your work or whatever is demanding you to live to a certain quota, then you're just gonna have to do that. But if you have time at home, you should practice there. What I used to do is I would actually practice at work too. Um, I would just do like these sketches and what have you, you know, and I would just sketch and do them in my PSD file, like kind of hidden. But I wouldn't spend too much time on them, so it wasn't like I was wasting a lot of time or anything. I just couldn't do it like for the full day or anything. And yeah, that worked out pretty nice. It's pretty good, pretty good. And so I would suggest, yeah, you just got to find external time to do it. Otherwise, yeah, you're gonna feel the pain.
Well, my thought on hearing this question is like, what is the stuff that you're producing quickly? Like, is that not what you want to practice? Like, aren't
Maybe.
you improving at least a little bit through what you have to do? Or is it like completely different? I'm curious. Okay. Another question from Habit12CA says, hey, I'm having trouble getting into the industry. I've done some freelance and got a BA in art, still finding it hard. Any tips?
Keep trying. Yeah, I mean, how long have you been trying? You know, if you've only been doing it for not that long, then you just got to keep waiting. But if you did it for um, a long, long time, I mean, still you just got to be patient. You know, like the the difference a lot of times is that people just need to just wait it out a little bit. You know, and what I usually tell people is that the only thing you can control anyway is your work, like the quality of it. You know, and the people that you interact with. So if you're not engaging with a lot of different artists, or you're not putting yourself in those types of circles, then yeah, you're gonna be struggling with this type of stuff often. Oh, I should have saved the high res version. Nah, it's fine. We'll stick with this low poly one. Kind of like it.
Okay.
It's just a goal of practicing, anyways. I wasn't really trying to make anything cool. Just trying to make
You
cool
gonna animate
Pixar.
it?
Nah, not right
No.
now. I'm just
Gotcha.
practicing the fidelity.
That's a really cool workflow. I just realized you painted it like normally and then made
Hmm.
it pixel art.
Yeah,
So you didn't have to paint it as pixel art.
and
That's
I did a lot of
fucking
trial and error
cool.
because the problem that I had with pixel art was that I'm so used to having a lot of pixels to work from, right? And
Mm,
although that's kind of like the point of like this pixel art, you know, trade is to kind of like be clever with the real estate that you have. I'm just like, nah, it's fine. I'm gonna try to figure it out, you know. And I found like some really great examples of amazing pixel art that clearly used like 3D renders that then got rasterized, you know. And if they weren't, then those people are really good. But there's obviously stuff that they did that was not rasterized that was clearly just like they painted it by hand, and um, those are also equally as impressive to look at, you know.
yeah.
But I was just like, I wonder what I can do. And in Photoshop, you can actually still smudge even at like this pixel thing. You can still like blend. It's crazy, but the blending
Really?
is at a pixel art level. You know?
Oh, so you can like spread out. Okay.
Yeah,
That's man, Photoshop.
I know. I'm just like, dude, my pixel art's gonna be dope. You know, but it like let me show you some references I've been gathering just so you can see where my
You
headspace is
gotta
at.
paint like bigger shapes though, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said earlier, right? Like
Mm,
your shapes got to be a little bit more cartoony because
mm,
they stand out better. Any little small detail, Like for instance, if you look at like something like this is so tiny. I wonder if I can see it larger. No, but anyway, that's still pretty cool. Um, there's like that's clearly a hand painted, like from pixel art resolution. But that's achievable. Like I could do that too.
That's a neat lighting effect too. It's
Yeah,
so simple, but it really helps.
it's cool, man. Like I'm appreciating this style. Um, but then there's like this. I know you're watching a delay. Um, there's this like super epic like mech animation.
Just hold on. Can I comment real quick that your child, the noise it just made sounded like the gun of the
Oh,
animation.
my baby made sounded like
Yeah,
he made a gun noise.
yeah, that's cute.
Um,
Okay, this one's cool. Yeah, the bigger mech.
yeah, but there's ones like this,
Oh,
which
those
is
smokes cool.
clearly his little toesies are sticking out. Um, oh, my wife was pointing away. Like this is
Oh my god, that's gotta be like 3D. Yeah.
yeah, and then it's just, and I'm like, wait, and then I was looking at like there was like forums that were talking about it, and they're just like, that's not OG pixel art, yo. They use like 3D renders and stuff like that.
Who cares?
And then other people were like, well, what do you think they did for like Donkey Kong? Like some people were like this is not anything new. It's just perhaps you're jealous. You're jelly.
There's more fidelity.
Yeah, and so like
Okay.
I'm thinking, yeah, that's true. Why am I hand painting all this? Why don't I leverage a skill that I already got? You know, and that's my ability to paint well. And then I'll just like find a way to pixelize that, and I've just done that. And so now I'm like,
Yep.
and I like I said, I can hand craft it here, you know. And I even have my I figured out how to like make a lasso selection be pixelated, right? So I can like lasso select the arm and all that stuff, and it'll be pixelated too. And I can basically make a selection via pixel art, you know,
Yeah.
and then pop this bad boy out.
Incredible.
Whoops.
So cool.
Yeah.
All
Hold
right.
on. There you go. And then like so now I have the arm, you know, and I can like rotate
Yeah.
it. And I also figured out basically just turn off anti-aliasing and a lot of these things. But I figured out how to then pixel art the rotation. That was something that other software can figure out. That's some crazy algorithms, yo. But now I can
Yo.
rotate it
Oh wow.
and it stays
It's
pixel
like
arty.
trying to figure out
Yeah.
like
So it's
where to put
not
the pixels.
yeah, so it's not perfect, but like because pixel art's so low fidelity, it's easy to correct, right? You just
Mhm.
go in here and you just erase the extra pixels, you add the your missing pixels, and then bam, it's done. Right? Now you have a
Have
rotated
you
arm.
tried the content? Have you tried the content aware fill when you're like cut something out on this?
Oh no, I haven't. Let's try
Yeah,
it.
you should try that.
Let's try it. Let's make an
It'll
experimental
probably be
layer.
like super. My guess is it would be really useful because it's so like low fidelity that the
Content
algorithm
aware.
wouldn't be that hard.
Let's see. Let's see.
I don't know. Remember, I think you have to turn it on, but
No, I
like
got
the
it.
last is like
I got it. I'm just
delete.
trying to figure out if I have to change any settings to make it work the way that we are anticipating.
Mhm.
Because we're at so low fidelity.
Oh, what's up, Eastside Japan?
And if I just move it over here, hit enter. Okay, that was weird. Oh wait, do I have a different? Yeah, content aware move. Yeah, that's right. Oh, there you go. Yeah, looks like it cleaned it up just right.
Nice.
So I
I
don't have
haven't
to.
seen it yet. That's cool.
Yeah, I don't have to paint it.
Oh,
So
I see on the torso. Yeah.
and then so I just go here.
Oh, it even got like the contour of the.
Yeah, and then I just clean this up. Get rid of those extra colors. All right, I'm running out of time. Now I have just an armless dude. Yeah, totally, I can do it.
Before you leave, there's one question on Twitch I think that we should address, or
Yeah,
at least look at.
I'll answer two questions and I'll roll out.
Okay. You want that now or you want to wait?
Yeah, right now. Let's do it.
Okay.
Thanks, bud.
So on Twitch, Luis 9000 says, "Hello, AJ.
Hey, what's up, bud?
Is your mentorship for beginners, or should someone know the basics slash be more advanced before signing up, i.e., color painting, anatomy, perspective?"
Um, it's for all levels. In fact, I like it that way because I like to put the more experienced artists with the more low level artists and vice versa because the more experienced artists are going to do well because they're just more experienced. But what they get an opportunity sometimes is they get an opportunity to share their work and inspire others and get positive feedback and also try to help them out. One of the best ways to learn is to teach others. You know, sometimes the more experienced artists help each other out and hang out and do group chat. And obviously, I help them specifically with whatever issues they may have, right? And then the more beginner artists, there's no real difference. I just approach everybody's skill set. And what's good about having the good artists with the more experienced artists is that they get to see kind of the other artists and their skills, and then can have like a contrast type situation. So you don't have to have any real skill to join my class, but I do encourage that you know some basics like anatomy and perspective and all that kind of stuff. But I teach people of all levels, so there's no fear. I'm really good about paying attention to people's individual needs versus just focusing on grander stuff. Like, no, I try to get everybody to be dope at whatever level they're at.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Take this, I guess, one last question. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Eastside Japan asked, "I got a question. What did what did you do to help when you were learning blueprints for Unreal 4? I have hard time making my own scripts without looking at a tutorial."
Just keep looking at tutorials. You just don't know enough, right? Um, and so one of the best things you can do, because of liking this little weird ferret. I've been looking at a lot of animation stuff, and I've seen a lot of tricks that a lot of animators do. And there's one where they just like literally just had them go up and down. And there's like no animation. It's just one frame
It's
up,
South Park.
one pixel up, one pixel down. Anyway, so what I discovered about coding is it's not so much about knowing every line of code. It's knowing the language. Okay, right? And so that way, when you know the language, then you can interpret or read what other people write. Does it make sense? Because if you follow tutorials, then you'll be following. So in art, there's this very similar conundrum that I pose to my students and to other artists, which is that if you just copy a master, then you're not truly improving as fast as you could if you were to understand the master, right? And how they paint, like methodology, right? Understanding the language, yet again. And when you do something like that, the reason why there's a lot of value there is that when you look at someone else's artwork, you can start interpreting kind of the process in which they got there. You can start to dissect and investigate and learn. And what I find with coding is very similar. Like it's not so much the writing of the code or any of that stuff. It's just like I know that there might be a function that exists that I don't know that's I don't know the actual name for it or the terms. So it's like trying to speak to somebody with only a very limited vocabulary. You know, if you don't have a word for bed, but you're tired, like how are you going to explain to somebody that you need to lay down in a bed? You know, and so it's just easier if you have that word. And so what I learned with coding is that you just first got to learn the language. Okay, that'll be the first thing. I wouldn't worry about anything else. Like just learn all the different APIs that are available for you through Blueprints. And then once you learn that, then you can start I mean, you can still practice this even without learning all the API, you know. But as you're learning the language, another factor, another core principle that I discovered about code is just knowing logic, understanding logic. You know, like actually understanding how things like work. Does it make sense? Like if you understand how this or that works, then you can do a lot of stuff. Let me give you an example. I'll use Play Canvas software that I'm using to download or create my own games. Yo. So I think Testing Grounds 2 is where I'm doing a lot of fancy stuff. But let's go to Testing Grounds 1. I have a lot of testing grounds because I'm constantly practicing. Okay. So in here there should be, what's in here? Oh yeah, my my first version of Ultra Mix Showdown, which was supposed to be in 3D. Yeah, you won't see it because it's all delayed, Mike, but eventually you'll see it. So originally it was going to be 3D.
How long before it's done?
Pretty soon, soon. And so, like, let's say I want to do something as simple as move this model
Waiting time.
by pressing D or something, right? Like, how would I do that? And so I learned that you have to make a script. We'll call it move this dude. And see, I learned in the language that you should capitalize every other word because there's no spaces in JavaScript, right? I mean, you can't use spaces. There are spaces, but you can't use them to like name things. And you could totally add spaces into this name, but I don't as a way of practice, right? So now we're going to the code editor. Now there's a lot of stuff here.
Did Jay go to bed? 10 o'clock needed to go.
I don't know.
Can't scream
Hold on,
out.
just a second. Huh?
I can't scream out.
Yeah. Jake?
Oh man, I said I can't scream because it's 10 o'clock.
I think he is in bed.
Okay.
Okay. I'm just making sure my teenage boy. This is late. All right. I'm just going to do this one example just to demonstrate. Are you still there, Mike?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Just passive. Tired.
So there's a lot of comments here that I'm just going to delete. And I'm just going to leave it to super simple code, right? And so if you don't know what any of this stuff does, right? Let's zoom in on this. Let's zoom in on this code. Right? If you don't know what any of this stuff does, then you don't even know where to start, correct? Right? You're just going to look at this and be like, this is completely confusing. But once you understand it, then it starts becoming easier, right? And once this becomes easier, then you can do other things. So let's move it, right? So what this code is doing is first it's making a variable named after the name that I had. This is what all this is doing because all this code is on the web, and when you extract it, the engine itself will make, like basically it'll translate all the stuff that you did in the engine into a readable text file. Does that make sense? And so understanding that means you can't delete this. You have to keep that there because this is here to make this work. You can actually put this variable somewhere else, but this variable has to exist somewhere, right? So then you have to just know the language of this engine, and you have to also understand the syntax in which the language lives in, right? It's like if I know English, that's great, but if there's like Ebonics, right, which is like a twisted way of speaking English, is I could still understand somebody, you know, but they have like a little bit more of an accent or they have more slang in their language, but I can still understand what they're trying to get across. So that's what this engine is doing. It's like its own version because there's other engines that use JavaScript, but they have different syntaxes and APIs. And so, but it's all under one framework. So then, because I know something like this dot entity dot translate. Whoops. Translate.
Oh, the pop-ups look helpful.
Yeah, totally helpful. And then 0. Wait, I wanted it to move on the x, right? So then we want delta time times. Let's do 5, 0, 0. And then we have to close it out so that way it knows what's going on with its life. Okay? So then all we got to do.
Does the X mean that your code isn't complete, or that line doesn't work?
What, the X?
Yeah, just a moment.
Oh,
Like there
yeah,
was
that's
a
right.
red X.
Yes. And that's part of
Okay.
the engine letting us know. That's part of the API. Like the game engine developers put that there so that it makes it easier to know that your code
Yeah.
can function. It
Even though I
doesn't.
have no idea like what I'm looking at when you're doing that, it looks like a pleasant experience,
Yes.
like the way they've set it up.
So now I'm gonna move this dude. I'm gonna put it on him, and then I'm gonna hit play. And in theory, he should move to the right by himself. Oh, not to the right, but he's moving. And so you see, I got him to work. I got him to move, right? And it's because I understood the code. I understand the parameters of what I'm doing here, right? I'm just gonna delete this because there's no reason to have it, and I have to go. But
Oh, I see it now. He went right in his own translation.
yeah,
I assume.
so I would have to figure out why, but I can dissect why. I can figure. Oh, it's because he's already tilted. He's angled exactly. So you already kind of figured it out because of his from just looking at it, right?
Yeah, it's delayed, but I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, and so now I'm trying to figure out to do projectiles, for instance. And so there's this documentation that they have, and I can read this and I understand it, and I'm trying to understand their logic, like what they were thinking. But there would be words in here or phrases or written code that I don't understand necessarily the meaning of. So I'll have to go and look up the quote unquote dictionary to learn that word. You know what I mean? If we're using the language example again. And once I learn that word, then I'm like, I can now use this in other various ways in the future. So it's totally reasonable to watch tutorials, but don't just follow along. Because if you just follow along, you won't understand.
Hmm.
And if you understand, then you can repeat. You can try again. You can do it differently later. So I would say try to break stuff. Try to make things from scratch a lot. Because if you make things from scratch a lot, it means you know how to do it. Just as you saw me make it move without looking at any tutorial, right? Because I memorized the code, what it does and how it works, and within the engine itself. And there's a lot of free tutorials on blueprints and stuff. And Unreal has a huge plethora, so you should definitely watch them. But I'm gonna roll out now. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate
Yeah.
everybody for hanging out. Appreciate you, Mike, a lot. Oh yeah, they're doing a feedback Friday. If you go to my Facebook,
Oh yeah.
I think it's just Robot Pencil. If you just go there, you can see I think it's the latest. Well, the stream would be the top, but right below it would be like a link to the what you call it, to the event. So if you want to hang out and get some feedback from, I think it's Mike and Kalen, join in, y'all. Otherwise, peace
Yeah.
out,
Yeah.
friends.
Have a good
Laters.
night.
Leave slowly. Is there a way to like drop out of all the outputs other than